Good morning, everybody. This is Terry with Gateway to Counseling. So, welcome. I wanted to look at that. So, welcome to the Ask Terry show. It's dreary outside. I don't know where you guys are, but I'm in Texas and it is just nasty outside, right? So, anyway, what an interesting question today. Awesome. So, the question is, do I think women should date other women because there are limited men available? So I will tell you, I was having a conversation maybe a couple of months or so ago with someone who lives in Louisiana. And she was saying, I think I'm going to move to Texas because there are more men in the Houston area. And I was like, really? I think some people would disagree with that. But I've been told in various places where I go, oh, there's not enough men here. I should move somewhere else where there are men. I do remember meeting a lady and providing some services to her many years ago who lived in the Lake Jackson area. And I did agree with her that she had a limited pool based on her criteria. Okay, so, well, what do I think about that? Well, I don't think anyone should become gay or bisexual or, lesbian just because there's not enough men to go around. I am going to assume that this person is older, like in their 40s, more than likely. I think there's probably a lot of men available when you're in your 20s. The issue that you run into once you get into your 40s and older is that a lot of the men that you meet are married, right? And so you are meeting a lot of people who are married. It's not like you can go to work and you're working on your job or you're working out in the field and you meet someone, right? Those days are very limited when you are when you're older. Or, for example, I went to a party on, I think it was Sunday after the football game, and everyone there were married couples, and it was three that were single, including me. And it was very interesting because it became a big joke because of some of the things that we're doing. But, it's like that. It's like when you're in your 20s, when you go to a party, more than likely everyone there is single and very few people are actually married. But as you get older, you start to be around more and more married individuals. So it does seem like you have a limited supply. So a supply. And I'm speaking from a lady's point of view. Okay. I think from a man's point of view, it's very different. So I'm going to assume that the person asking me this question is a woman. Because I think from a man's point of view, they have so many choices. I talk to women who are online dating. And matter of fact, that was a conversation that came up on Sunday at the football game, because it was one of my friends there who was dating someone for the last 5 months, met him online, right? And so everything is going well for them. But I think men have a bigger pool of women to choose from. And what I hear, because I don't do the online thing, but what I hear is that men tend to play around even online, right? They're talking to this person and that person and this person. And you kind of think, well, but they're not committed to anyone, so they can do that, right? Yeah, I guess so. But when you start going out with someone, then you hope that you guys are going to at least give it a chance, and you're not going to be dating, 3-4 women 3-4 months down the road. You know what I'm saying? But men tend to have a wider pool of choices. Why is that? I don't know. I do believe that women outnumber men in certain parts of the world. I think here in Houston, we have a lot of single women, and maybe that's because, Houston is such a great place to live. And so we have people that move here from all over the world. And I think that they move here for their jobs and things like that. And I think typically we have a lot of single women in the Houston area. You guys, please correct me if I'm wrong. But I see that the single men that are there, the single men that I talk to, they just have a lot more flexibility, right? Compared to the single women. So should you start dating another woman? I don't know, guys. I would hope that you wouldn't do that just because you want a relationship. I'm single. And no, I'm not dating another woman. I'm not dating anyone. I actually am dating myself. And I love it. I have just fallen completely in love with me. And so I'm very happy and content to be by myself. And yes, I was at that event on Sunday afternoon, and I was one of only 3 single women there, and it was fine, you know. I wasn't looking for anything, so it was great. And no one else was looking for me, so that was great because they were all married men, right? So, and it felt really comfortable knowing where my mindset was and being able to socialize with everybody, men, women, equally. But if you feel like you are missing out on something and you feel like you can go that way, then I guess so. And some people might say, well, Terry, but what about the Bible? And what about spirituality? That's a conversation for you and God to have. You know, I know that in the Bible, in the biblical times, men were allowed to have more than one wife. Maybe that was why. Because maybe there was a shortage, right? And so, you know, David had multiple wives and concubines, and, you know, he took care of multiple women. And it goes on and on and on about all the people in the Bible who had multiple wives, right? And it was allowed. It was allowed by God. And it was allowed by society. Now in our society, it is not allowed. It is illegal in the state of Texas. In the United States, it is legal in other parts of the world. But here it's not. And so, you know, that's a conversation that you have to have with God, and you have to feel comfortable with it. I've known some people to try to date women. Yes, I've known that, where they weren't having success with men. So they did try dating a woman, and that didn't work out either. Because guess what? Women have their own issues too. Women can cheat too. Women can be abusive too. Women can do all the things that men can do, right? I say that. But you know what I'm talking about in a relationship. So if you're thinking that by dating a woman, you're going to be more safe and it's going to be easier, no, it's not. No, it's not. There's all kinds of issues regardless of if you're male or female. So I would say date yourself for now and see what you are really about and what you really want in a relationship. And then if you can get that from a female or same-sex person, then who am I to judge that, right? You know, I work with younger adolescents, and they teach me a lot. And they say to me, Miss Terry, it doesn't matter if they're a guy or girl. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is their personality. What matters to me is that we're getting along. So if you can feel comfortable with that and announce it to your family and your friends and be in love with that person, if they're the same sex, who am I to judge? So anyway, if you guys have any questions that you want to ask, today is Wednesday, so I will be back on Monday. We're going to be working, guys, on making a show as it needs to be. If it needs to be 15 minutes, it'll be 15 minutes. It needs to be 5 minutes, it'll only be 5 minutes, okay? So we'll try to just address what the question is and not be concerned about the length of time that we're on here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll see you guys on the other side. Have a great weekend. Stay out of the rain. Bye.